Hi everyone, today I would like to continue with my film photography series. Every time that I complete a roll of film, I'm trying to release a new video. This roll of film was taken between the end of August through September of 2021, and it is Kodax Ultra Max 400. All of the photos were taken on my Canon AE-1 with the 50mm f1.2 lens. With that, let's get started. The first 4 images that I took on the roll of film are of Yantic Falls. This is a waterfall in Connecticut that I was able to get to right after the end of a heavy rainstorm. I think technically it was a tropical storm. There is a bridge that goes over the top of the waterfall, and unfortunately, because of the heavy rains, a lot of the paths on the other side were washed out, so I wasn't able to get a good shot of the other side of the waterfall. But I think what I was able to get are pretty nice candid photos. While I was there was also a brick house right next to it, so I was able to get a quick photo of that as well. Now, every Sunday I play in a pinball league. It's the New England Pinball League. They just started up again after the close of COVID, and there's multiple locations that you can play it at, but I'm playing it in Providence. And so every Sunday when I do this, I've been trying to go up to that area a little bit earlier and exploring what's there and trying to get some neat photos from that. So in Providence there's a large park called Roger Williams, and it's really quite well kept. There's a lot of different segments to it, like there's a swan pond, a Japanese garden, some gazebos, a music hall, and also a zoo and a botanical garden. Now the zoo and botanical garden, you do have to pay money in order to enter, but it's quite nice to walk around. There's a lot of people there all the time because it is like a city park, and so we'll go through the photos that I have here. So the first one is overlooking the swan pond. There's a nice almost cast iron bridge that you can walk over. The next one is of the Japanese gardens, and then a gazebo on the other side of the Japanese gardens. Now, I tried to take a lot of these photos without any people in it, just to have a nice landscape, but the music hall, or the Hall of Music, I think is what it's referred to as, I waited for quite a bit of time for the scene to get clear, but there was always people coming in and through. So the first one has kind of like almost a family in it, and the second one, there was 2 couples that came in and sat on either side, so I think it was kind of a neat symmetrical photo. Now, moving back to Connecticut, I was walking around Mason's Island, which has its own separate island called Ender's Island, and the buildings there are kind of neat, in which I think they were stone that was like transported here. There's a lot of small like alcoves and things that you can go to just kind of sit and relax for the day. The next series of photos were taken while hiking with some of my coworkers. We went up to a trail on the other side of Old Saybrook, and it was a very difficult trail. It was all uphill, but there were some nice overlooks with cool stone patterns. And unfortunately, the day that we went, it was kind of hazy, wet, and very buggy. So it would be nice to go back there on a better day, but the views are pretty nice. The next 2 photos are of a couple of friends of mine that own a clothing company in downtown Westerly. I'll put a link to their shop down below. He specializes in hiking apparel that is highly sustainable. So they're really cool. They have a lot of nice clothing, and I would recommend you guys go support them. Also in downtown Westerly, there's been a lot of kind of gentrification of the area, but there's still some hidden gems, and there's been this graffiti art that I've been trying to get a photo of for a long period of time, and finally got around to doing it. Now, a friend of mine, we like to go listen to records at one of the local bars one night a week. So there is a music venue bar down in downtown that allows you to bring in your own records. And I was able to get him to pose to show off what record we were listening to that night, and I converted that into a album cover subsequent to that. Next photo is of my grandfather. He's doing quite well. He is almost 87 years old, so just wanted to get a photo of him. And then the rest of the photos in the roll are kind of from exploring. So I was able to find this path going down to the beach in Charlestown, right near sunset, which I think it came out quite nice. The next one I was experimenting with taking moon photos. So this is still handheld and still like 1/60 shutter. So I'm quite impressed that we were able to capture basically anything in this photo, just because of how low light it was. And then I took Saturday to go up to Newport, and Newport, Rhode Island has a lot of Gilded Age mansions that you can tour, and then a lot of other mansions as well. Unfortunately, because it's on its own island, parking is very difficult, and it was just, there was too many people out for that day, and even the parking where you pay to park, there was nowhere to go. So I ended up going all the way down. There's a large public state park down there that I just kind of hiked a couple of trails in there and then gave up on Newport. But while I was there, I was able to get a couple of photos of both kind of the rock and a large transport that was coming into the harbor. So after giving up on Newport, I decided to go down to Point Judith to at least try and get some lighthouse photos. There was a lighthouse down there that I haven't visited yet, and this lighthouse is controlled by the Coast Guard, which means that they put a large fence around it, and the grounds of it are not public, which kind of stinks because it is a nice, like, I don't know, venue. I'm not really sure what to call it, but a nice area to go. But there's parks on either side, so I was able to walk around on the beach itself, on the rocks, and get some clear shots without having the fence in front of it. And while I was down there, there was also a lot of surfers doing their thing. That day there wasn't a lot of wind, and therefore the waves weren't huge, so nothing too crazy, but it was neat to watch them for a little bit doing their stuff. The last 3 photos are back in Providence. They complete this roll of film. There was 35 shots total, and this is another one that I was going up to go play pinball and decided to explore a little bit. So first one is of a theater near Federal Hill, and then I parked down, luckily on Sundays in Providence parking is free, so I parked down by this building called the Turk's Head and walked up towards Brown and Rhode Island School of Design to take photos up that way. But the rest of those photos are on the next roll of film, so you'll just have to wait for that. And that completes this roll of film. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.